Welcome to this second edition of Learning the Tarot at the Tarot Files with me, Kate May, Modern Day Mystic. You can catch me for a reading or to learn the tarot or book a session, even in Feng Shui, on katemay.co.uk. So let's go into the Fool's Journey. Now, the Fool's Journey is a metaphor for the life that we go through, and it starts off with the Fool. It's a powerful metaphor for the human experience, a path we all travel as we navigate through the stages of life. And each card in the tarot reflects a milestone or a lesson that mirrors the challenges and growth that we face over time. So the journey begins with the Fool, representing the start of a new chapter, naive, curious, and open to possibilities. The Fool embodies the innocence and optimism we all carry at the outset of life, like a child taking their first steps, its potential for success and failure, but most importantly, there is a readiness to begin. Next comes the Magician, symbolizing initiative, creativity, and the ability to turn ideas into action. He reminds us that we have the tools we need to shape our reality through focus, resourcefulness, and intention. The High Priestess follows next, representing our intuition and introspection. Where the Magician encourages internal action, the High Priestess points us inwards, guiding us to trust our instincts and explore the deeper, often hidden parts of ourselves. The Empress brings a sense of care and abundance, the Fool connecting to his mother and Mother Earth, echoing the nurturing forces that's within our lives, whether from ourselves or from Mother Nature. She invites us to appreciate beauty, comfort, and the simple pleasures that ground us. For the Emperor, the Fool meets his father, structure, representing authority, stability, and the importance of setting boundaries. At this point in the journey, we begin to understand the need for discipline and order and long-term planning. The Hierophant introduces the tradition and shared beliefs. This stage is about learning from established systems, whether cultural, spiritual, or educational, and deciding what values resonate with us personally. Then come the Lovers, when the Fool starts to make connections, marking a time of connection and choice within relationships. Relationships take on a greater meaning, and we begin to understand the emotional and moral implications of the decisions we make, both for ourselves and for others. By the time we reach the Chariot, there is a sense of direction and personal power. Confidence grows as we learn to stay focused and overcome obstacles. Success comes from determination and self-control, moving us closer to our goals with progress. However, it also comes with the need for resilience. Here comes the strength for that resilience, but not as brute force, but as inner calm, patience, and courage in the face of any difficulties. This reminds the Fool it's about staying grounded and kind, even under pressure. Then the Hermit signals a turning of inwards, a pivotal point, a moment for reflection where solitude brings clarity. This is a time when the Fool starts to pause and evaluate and reconnects to the purpose before taking any next steps forward. But the Wheel of Fortune reminds us that life is full of change and circumstances, and these evolve, bringing new opportunities arising and setbacks occurring just as the ebbs and flows of life. The key to adaptability, knowing that nothing stays the same forever, but being open to what comes next, is really important here. The Justice card introduces itself to the Fool, and the Fool must take responsibility for his actions. Life demands accountability. Only by acknowledging past choices, both good and bad, can you truly learn to grow. It's called a kind of self-to-honesty recheck. So integrity, reminding yourselves and the Fool that progress requires accountability. not only towards yourself, fairness, but also others around you. The hangman challenges the fool to pause and let go of old beliefs. It's a time of surrender and introspection. Through uncomfortable and unfamiliar energies, this shift is perspective. In perspective is necessary. Real growth often comes not from doing, but from seeing things differently. The fool learns that sometimes standing still is how we move forward. The journey continues, but now even more deeper and personal. Each new experience brings insight and meaning. The fool is no longer just a wanderer, he is becoming a seeker of truth. With the appearance of death, he meets the inevitability of change. This is not an end, but a release, the letting go of what no longer serves him. Old identities, outdated habits, and attachments fall away. Through this process, the fool discovers that endings create space for new beginnings, and transformation is both liberating but also painful. Next comes temperance, where the fool begins to find the balance in healing. He learns to integrate opposing forces, patience with ambition, reflection, and action. This card marks a time of healing and harmony as he realizes that sustainable growth comes from moderation and self awareness. But not all challenges are external. The devil confronts him with his own inner struggles, perhaps addictions, fear, and the pull of comfort over progress. The fool must face these illusions head on, understanding that freedom comes when he recognizes his power to choose differently. Sometimes real clarity only arrives after everything falls apart. The tower represents sudden upheaval changes, those moments when the structure we've built collapses. Through painful, difficult challenges, these disruptions though clear the way for the truth. The fall is stripped of illusions, left with only what's real and essential. From the wreckage rises the star, offering calm after the storm. It brings hope and healing and a renewed sense of direction. The fool begins to trust himself again, both in nature, himself, inward and outward, and for his future. Guided by quiet confidence, he continues forward, inspired by the possibility of something better. But the moon comes in, casting uncertainty and doubt. Fears and illusions return, tempting the fool to lose faith. But with each misstep, he learns discernment. The moon's gentle light helps him navigate uncertainty, pushing him to rely on intuition and embrace the unknown as part of the process. Eventually, clarity returns with the sun. This is a moment of joy and recognition, a time when the fool feels truly alive. The confusion over the past fades, replaced by confidence, warmth, and a deep appreciation for the journey so far. He embraces life with open arms, grateful for how far he has come. Judgment marks a moment of self realization. The fool reflects on his journey, not only with regret, but with understanding. He forgives himself for past mistakes and releases the burden of self doubt. With greater perspective, he sees how every step, every detour, every challenge has shaped him. He feels ready to move forward, not as who he was, but who he has become. And finally, the world signals completion. The fool stands at the end of his journey, not as someone who has all the answers, but as someone who has grown. He feels whole, grounded, and capable. With the wisdom gained through experience, he now realizes his full potential.